Dr. Ibrahim Dakubu is a teacher, healer, thought leader, and futurist commissioned by God to heal minds, build nations, and ignite faith on a global scale. His life passion is to deliver people from the pain of ignorance.
Today we're going to talk about the hierarchy of needs. The hierarchy of needs. I'll be drawing from Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow was an esteemed psychologist, and he taught about the hierarchy of needs, which is basically a psychological theory that proposes 5 categories of human needs that motivate behavior and drive a person's pursuit of fulfillment. Whatever assignment you're given is a pursuit of fulfillment. So it's important to understand the categories of human needs that motivate behavior. These are proven scientific modules based on research. And so these are facts. And of course, we'll be dealing with this in a spiritual context. We're talking about wellness, all-round leadership. That's what this Big Ups to Dream Chasers leadership podcast is all about. It's about all-round leadership, factual evidence to be well and to be established in all the 9 dimensions of human wellness. And you know what these 9 dimensions are. We've spoken about it in previous episodes. And so we are going to look at this hierarchy of needs based on Maslow's concept, but from a leadership lens, from a leadership lens for the marketplace, for business, for ministry and for mission. You see, Maslow's hierarchy teaches a simple but often ignored truth. People cannot ascend to purpose if they are struggling to survive. That's the basic premise. You see, great leaders, whether spiritual or secular, they lead from bottom up, not top down. See, you can't discipline a hungry man, for example. It's very difficult to discipline a hungry man. It's very difficult to inspire a fearful employee. And it's very difficult to mobilize a burnt out volunteer. Why am I using these examples? These are all drawing from people's positions on the hierarchy of needs. So if you ignore where a person is on the hierarchy of needs, it will be very difficult to win with them. You understand? So this hierarchy of needs was depicted in like the form of a pyramid, with basic needs at the very bottom and higher level needs at the top. And so these are the needs. At the very base of the pyramid is the physiological need. What is this talking about? This is talking about food, shelter, sleep, and other survival needs. That's why I gave that example when I said you can't discipline a hungry man. Yeah, the person is thinking about basic survival, how to eat food and live, and you are telling them you need to be disciplined. They won't hear that. They have to first eat before they will hear you. So that's why, to have an effective ministry, even ministry, where you go out to minister the word to people, you have to be practical and productive. What do I mean by that? That's why most evangelists, when they go out for missions, they go with medical supplies, they go with food, they go with supplies and provisions. It's very important. because you're going to tell them about Jesus, but they haven't eaten, so they may not hear you. Yeah, you can say, you can condemn them to be carnal. That's your own problem. But if they haven't survived, how are they going to pay attention to hear you? So that just talks about where they are on the hierarchy of needs. Amen. Before they can comprehend things that have to do with transcendency, they first have to live. They have to be fed. So that's a physiological need: feeding, shelter, sleep, and other survival needs. The second level is safety. So this is talking about security, stability, and freedom from fear. Some form of security, safety. Understand? Then we go one notch higher. That's love and belonging. So this is talking about relationships, friendship, intimacy, acceptance. Okay. Then we go one notch higher. We go to esteem, self-esteem. So this is talking about respect, recognition, status. Everybody has all these needs. That's what we need to understand. Then we go one notch higher, self-actualization. So this is where, achieving one's full potential and creativity and all of that is concerned. And then there's actually a fifth one that has been added to some of the newer models that talks about transcendence. Talks about transcendence, living for something greater than yourself. So this is where we talk about legacy. So everybody is on a different level of this hierarchy. Some time ago, one of my friends who's a professor for linguistics, even though I'm younger, I'm not that young. Most of my colleagues are professors and things like that, right? So this person connects. In fact, she's a professor in linguistics, but my grandfather's older brother, that's my great uncle. I've spoken about him before. He was a professor in thermodynamics, chemistry professor. His wife was an emeritus professor in linguistics. Okay. And when she died, I had access to their library, both of their libraries, his library and her library. But because they're all senior people at the University of Ghana, various departments wanted some of their books. So the family people connected with me to say, well, if you can go and take the books that you want before the libraries of the departments come for the books. And this friend of mine was a lecturer in the Department of Linguistics. So I told her, you know what, come and choose the books that you want, because I know you're a lecturer over there. And this person was very happy, and they came to take the books and all that. But later on, when this person saw what I was doing, I know this person for a long time, then the person said, wow, you're actually at self-actualization, because she's an academic, right? She was like, wow, I'm excited for you. You are the self-actualization. Because the things that I was doing now were gearing towards legacy. You may not understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that some people are still trying to survive. So when I watch contentious people, most contentious people are still trying to be loved. They are still trying to be secure. Or they may even have gone a bit higher. They are still trying to be respected. I'm talking about recognition and status. You see what I'm saying? So there are different levels. Everybody is at a different level. So if you have an understanding of this hierarchy of needs, when you are dealing with people, you will know where they are, so that you can appropriately react with them. I was telling somebody at that time, in terms of academic fulfillment, in terms of professional fulfillment, 8 years ago, I was heading medical teams that had people the ages of my grandparents who were Caucasians. In fact, Caucasian South Africans who were calling me boss, and following my commands. So I'm not now looking for some kind of respect or acknowledgement. Do you understand? So what I'm saying is, I have already gone past esteem, respect, and all of those things. I'm using myself as an example because you know me. So don't get upset, okay? My name is Abraham and I'm your friend. And you see, so this hierarchy of needs is extremely important. It's extremely important. So for instance, I'm going to go through it again, but of course, drawing the examples from leadership and from mission and all of that. With this first level, which is physiological needs, if the body is broken, the vision is irrelevant. You need to understand that. So it's important to have supplies, to have food, to have rest, to be healthy, to have basic resources. So sometimes when I'm dealing with people and they begin to operate in the same way, then I know that maybe no, we have to go back and deal with basic issues. You understand? Because if the body is not fixed, if the person doesn't have a place to rest, they don't have food to eat, they are not healthy, they don't have basic resources, forget about the vision to save the world. It will not work for them. It won't mean anything to them at that point. So you have to know the people that you're working with. Before people can follow a vision, they must have energy to stand. You understand? So the example I gave about volunteers, it's like in ministry where you expect volunteers to serve endlessly without rest, without meals, without care. That will lead to burnout. It won't lead to revival. You know, in the Bible, it says Jesus fed 5,000 before teaching them. Luke 9:13-17, you can see the story when Jesus fed the people. Jesus understood that hungry crowds don't hear sermons. They don't hear sermons well. You see? And in business, underpaid employees will not innovate. They will put up the barest minimum. They will survive. Long hours without rest will produce compliance, the barest minimum. It will never produce creativity. You see, burnout is dangerous. So what I'm saying is, a tired team will never carry a timeless vision. That's why earlier today I was talking about tiredness. I had to deal with it because the Holy Spirit was revealing it to me. So we have to deal with it. You understand? Both spiritually and practically. That's how to maintain momentum. So the second level, which is the safety needs, people will not risk faith where they don't feel safe. That's the truth. Where people don't feel safe, they will never risk their faith. Security, stability, trust, protection, these are essentially important to carry any vision forward. I'm talking about leadership, you know. People thrive where fear is absent and where trust is present. That's how people will thrive. And if we're looking at it from a ministry perspective, the churches where the members feel rejection, gossip, or even spiritual abuse, those places will never grow because the people will never grow healthy leaders. You can never grow healthy leaders like that. So as a healthy shepherd, you have to be able to protect the sheep, not frighten them. You know, so that's why even when I'm giving disclaimers, I always try to be very clear and as human as possible and as practical as possible, so that no one misunderstands what I'm doing for fear. I'm not trying to frighten you or intimidate you or threaten you. No. That's why I always break it down to the barest practical level so that everyone can understand. If it were you, how would you look at it? Very simple. Because as a shepherd, you have to protect the sheep, not frighten them. God didn't lead Israel by intimidation. Yeah, he led them with a pillar of fire. Revelation, light. And so in business, employees need job security. They need fair policies. And they need predictable leadership. A toxic culture kills productivity faster than even budget cuts. We need to understand that. Okay? And so where fear rules, faith flees. Faith will disappear. So it's very important for people to feel safe and secure. Now, let's go to love and belonging. People don't commit to organizations. They commit to relationships. You know, during the episode where I spoke about the 7 leadership principles, I spoke about this. Connection, community, acceptance, these are extremely important. Whenever you feel disconnection, you have to deal with it appropriately. Never assume people are okay. No, most people don't have the courage to complain. So you have to have a strong sense of discernment to detect the unspoken. Belonging precedes believing. People have to feel like they belong before they can believe your message. And you also need to understand that loyalty follows love. Without love, there will be no loyalty. So basically, you can't bully anybody into loyalty. No, you can only love people into loyalty. And so, you know, even in ministry, like, you know, small groups, pastoral care, and relational leadership keeps people rooted. Jesus Christ called his disciples friends, not employees. When I say my name is Abraham and I'm your friend, I mean it. But of course, I learned that from John Maxwell, my mentor. So you don't build the kingdom with strangers. No. You can't build with strangers. You have to build with people you know. That's why God will usually create circumstances where you get to know people. You can only be productive with people who understand you, who know you. So sometimes that's why most of the time I tell personal stories. You have to be open and transparent so that people will understand you and know you for who you really are. Then they can connect appropriately. In business, strong teams outperform talented individuals who feel isolated. No matter how talented a person is, if the person is isolated or feels, they may not even be isolated, but if they feel isolated, they may be unproductive. So it's very important to build strong teams where the culture is strong, organizational culture is strong. You know, so basically, the culture can eat up the strategy. I'm telling you. No matter how many strategies you have, if you don't curate the workplace culture properly, there may be issues. And so people will easily forget your vision, but they will never forget how you made them feel. You see, they'll always remember how you made them feel. Now let's go to the next level, which is esteem. You know, honor fuels ownership. Honor will fuel ownership. So I'm talking about recognition, value, dignity, achievement. People rise when they are seen, not used and abused. When people feel used and abused, they will not rise up to expectation. So as a leader, you need to affirm people publicly. And as a spiritual leader, you need to affirm spiritual gifts publicly. So, I mean, if you take your mind back, you'll see how I operate with people when we are discussing stuff. Sometimes I allow people to harness their gifts, to express their gifts, and I talk about people's gifts. You understand? Because it's important. It's important to affirm spiritual gifts publicly as a spiritual leader. I'm talking about ministry insight for ministry leaders who may be listening. See, the Apostle Paul constantly honored co-laborers by name. If you look in the Bible, Romans 16. So, correction without affirmation creates rebellion or resignation. We have to learn how to rebuke. We have to learn how to correct. The Bible says rebuke with love, not malice or contention. So no matter how spiritually strong you are as a leader, you have to have the heart to love people. Because people only function where they feel loved. No matter what your revelation is, if people don't feel safe and loved, they will not accept it. We need to understand that people that are unappreciated eventually stop trying. So it's very good to encourage and acknowledge. It's very important. It's very good to show gratitude. Give honor to whom honor is due. A lot of people want honor, but they never want to give honor. It doesn't work like that. You will never be honored if you don't give honor. That's how it works. Now let's go to the fifth one, which is the final one according to the traditional model, which is self-actualization. I'm talking about purpose and productivity, because purpose is the ultimate productivity. Most people are frustrated because they don't know what their purpose is. If you don't know what your purpose is, you're going to be frustrated. If you don't know why you're here, why you have this gift, why you have this talent, why you have this education, why you have this access, why you have this favor, why you are in this location, you don't know all of that, you're going to be frustrated. But guess what? To know all of that, you need revelation, guidance, coaching, counseling, all of those things. That's why I encourage people to sign up to my leadership products that I have on the website www.ibrahimdakubu.com. You need guidance. Great leaders build leaders and they release them. They don't build followers. They build leaders and they release leaders. You see, the church system was gather people to yourself and control them and feel important. No. The apostolic model is to build people up. You can have an apostolic hub, build people up and release them for impact in the world in their specific areas of specialization. And so that's where discipleship comes in. That's why I'm so big on discipleship on the spiritual level. In the secular level, I'm big on mentorship, guidance, leadership, all of that. Because the real problem we have in the world is a leadership problem. We don't have enough good leaders. If we have the right leaders, the world will change for good. And so God is raising transformational leaders, as you hear me talk about all the time. God is raising transformational leaders for transition periods. We are in a transition period right now. And so the most important commodity right now for this earth is good leadership. Talking about transformational leaders. Yes? Now, when we talk about discipleship empowers people to live their God-given calling. Discipleship is not for control or domination. No. What did Jesus say? Jesus said, "Greater works than these shall you do." Yeah, Jesus was building them up, and he gave them the assurance that they will do greater things than they saw him do. So true ministry is not control, it's commissioning. That's what true ministry is. It's only insecure people that want to gather people to themselves and control them. That era is over. We are in an apostolic age. God is going to anoint apostolic hubs where transformational leaders will be built up and sent to transform the world. When people find purpose, performance naturally follows. And so that's why you hear me say big ups to dream chasers. You know, when you find your purpose, you will naturally be productive. There's a bonus point on the hierarchy of needs, which Maslow later added, which is transcendence, as I mentioned earlier on. It's not on the original hierarchy. But basically, transcendence means living for something greater than yourself. You remember I was saying something about we've entered a new trajectory of transcendence, and with that, transformational leadership and all those phrases, that's what it's talking about. Transcendency, that's spiritual ascendancy. That's what transcendence means. Oh Lord. So this is where faith, ministry, and kingdom leadership, this is where they reign supreme. People don't just want access. They don't just want success. What they actually want is significance. That's what their souls crave. That's why the millionaire who hasn't found purpose is still not satisfied, because he hasn't found significance. Of all the millions, he doesn't know why he had the millions. As long as a person hasn't found the greater purpose for their existence, they are not going to be satisfied. And so this is where giving back is essential. This is where serving others is essential. This is where leaving legacy is essential. I can tell you, by God's grace, as young as I am, this is where I am right now. I'm talking about legacy. I'm talking about serving others. I'm talking about giving back. Because I'm trying to be like Jesus Christ, the Master. Jesus mastered this level. What did he say? He said, whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. This is talking about mastery. This is talking about transcendence. And so I'll be rounding up with some final nuggets for leaders, CEOs, leaders, pastors. You cannot demand spiritual maturity from people who are still fighting emotional survival. I'm going to say that again. You simply cannot demand spiritual maturity from people who are still fighting emotional survival. So that's what I mean when I say you can't be empowered if you're not healed. You can't be empowered if you're not delivered. And when I say delivered, secular people will be saying, well, what's that? People may feel uncomfortable about that. What that simply means is holding on to faulty beliefs. You can't be empowered if you're still holding on to faulty beliefs. Deliverance is not only demons coming out, it's also faulty beliefs disappearing. You cannot build vision where dignity is absent. You can't do it. You can't lead upward without lifting people first. You can't do it. So, great leadership mirrors God's method. Number one, he provided. Number two, he protected. Number three, he connected. And then he affirmed. And then he commissioned. That's the model of leadership. So, what I've just described is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a psychological tool, but this time with a mantle. So guess what? God does not bypass human needs to release purpose. No, he doesn't do that. He transforms them through crushing in order to produce new wine. We are in a season of new wine. And with that, we need to have the right wine skins. So Maslow explains human motivation. But guess what? The gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth redeems it. Maslow shows what people need, but Christ shows who people become. And so new wine is not produced by comfort, but by intentional crushing under divine care. Thank you so much for listening. Big ups to Dream Chasers. Arise and shine. Shalom.